Welcome back to Full Disclosure and our interview with Dr. Richard I. Fine. Dr. Fine explains the laws and legal procedures that prohibit judges from taking payments other than their state salaries.
And under the Code of Judicial Ethics, you have, first of all, a judge cannot accept any money from anyone that's a party in front of them. Second of all, they have to disclose if they've received any money from a person who's a party in front of them. And third of all, they have to disqualify themselves. And fourth of all, you have under the United States Supreme Court cases that it's a fraud upon the court if someone has paid someone or done something to have that judge sitting there. So basically, they were breaking the law because it's a denial of due process. It's the question of whether the person in the court is receiving due process because the judge has been tainted. And the standard is if there's an appearance, there can be any appearance that the judge might be biased, the judge is out.
The system started attacking him by first denying him and his firm the payments they won in the settlements. Then the judges continued working to destroy him, eventually disbarring him on bogus charges. Why did he continue to fight, we ask him?
Deep down, I had a very basic belief that if I found an honest judge somewhere, I'd win. And I should emphasize, I believe in the system. I feel that the system that was set up by our Constitution works. It works if you have honest people in it who don't abuse it, and there are checks and balances on that abuse. So I didn't realize at that point in time how widespread the abuse was.
The third branch of government is the judicial system. It was established by our founding fathers to be a check on the easily corruptible political branches of government, the executive and legislative branches. Now it appears that this third branch has become corrupted by politics.
In California, a judge is a politician. Now, I happen to think that that's better than appointing a judge for life in California the way the present appointment system works, where the governor makes the appointment and the only one that looks at it is the governor's committee. And then the guy goes out and gets elected. At least he gets elected, the public has a chance of having some input. We can vote him out. But Chief Justice, former Supreme Court Justice O'Connor, I believe, is out there now saying that we should change the system and never elect judges and just have them appointed politically. Now, imagine what we would end up with. Well, you've just seen what's happened with me, with Judge Yaffe, in a system that had both elections and federal judges appointed for life with the advice and consent of the Senate. Can you imagine what would happen to this country if now every state house, the governor could appoint his friends to be a judge for life? I mean, think of where we would be. So, yes, politics is going to play a big role in any case in which there's going to be a public interest. And any judge that's going to tell you otherwise is not telling you the truth.
So what hope is there if decisions by the judges are made based on politics instead of reason? Aren't they operating under the rule of men instead of the rule of law as they're supposed to?
You can't get away from politics. But what you can have happen is that law has a lot of rules, and what we call the rule of law has been around for a long time. And so basically, if judges were to follow the rule of law, which we hope they do, things would work. It's when they don't follow it that things don't work. And in any type of political situation, you're going to find that the judge is going to be thinking as much politically as he is legally, because the judge is human. He brings his whole experience into his decision. We hope that the judge uses reasoning to come to a decision. But one can only suspect that basically what may happen is the judge may have a gut reaction and then write the decision to justify his gut reaction. And many of us have seen so many decisions that read that particular way.
So what happened with him? What caused Judge David Yaffe, who had held him in solitary confinement for 18 months, to suddenly relent and turn him loose?
I can't go into Judge Yaffe's head because I don't know what was functioning in his mind. But taking his last minute order, which is the one that let me out, he's concluded that it was not worth it, that there was no purpose that was being served by having me in jail. Well, that's a conclusion that he could have made back on March 4th, 2009. Because on March 4th, 2009, the day that he ordered me to go to jail, I told him that I wasn't answering the questions. So, because we were going through the appeal process. So he knew that then.
The question stands, why after 18 months did Judge Yaffe do a 180-degree turnabout? What changed to change his mind?
What I can infer from one line in his order where he said that my being in jail acted as a deterrent to other attorneys to make the challenges based upon the facts in this case. And I think what happened is that his real purpose in putting me in jail was to deter anyone else from doing the challenges. And then he's now come to realize that it didn't work. Not only did it not work, but it backfired. And it backfired in the worst way possible. We got him to resign. We got him to resign, being faced with an investigation on the Commission on Judicial Performance, which could end up firing him. We got him to resign based upon the request for an investigation by the U.S. Attorney General, the U.S. Attorney, Jerry Brown, the State Attorney General, and Cooley, the State District Attorney, for obstruction of justice. So everything that he was trying to do has failed. I mean, we're now asking for an investigation by the Senate Judiciary Committee and the House Judiciary Committee with respect to this whole issue of judges taking money and putting in laws to make sure it doesn't occur. Everything backfired on him.
We'll be right back.